Hi, beautiful. It's Miriam Castilla here, and this is an extra special secret video just for you. That's right. This video is just for you for being on my mailing list, because not only have you given me your email address and you welcome me into your inbox, but you actually open my emails and click on them and allow me to really share everything that I'm here to share. And you know, if it wasn't for you, then it would be pretty lonely for me out on this end. So I really appreciate it. And I wanted to give you something a little bit extra special this week. So rather than the usual weekly care package in the usual format, I thought I would record this video for you because I want to share something with you that's really powerful that I teach in my programs, in my workshops, and in my retreats. And it's really the secret to working out how to start creating life on purpose, how to start shifting this reality here to the new reality that we want to create. And as you probably guess, it all starts and ends with you, because you are the creator of your life. We are the creators of your life, and the power lies within you. So I'm going to go through the thoughts become things cycle with you, which is a really beautiful, simple way of understanding how it is that all the parts that make up who we are, our thoughts, beliefs, actions, words, perceptions, how all those things, which are actually our personality, and that's what creates our personal reality, how they, one, work together, and also number two, how we can start hacking into this cycle to start shifting that reality. Because as we shift who we are being, so the reality that is a reflection of that starts to shift. And as I said, the power is completely within us, because the universe responds to our unique electromagnetic signature, and that is our personality. And most of the time, people, including us, walk around completely unconscious. We are nothing but a memorized set of behaviors, feelings, ways of speaking, acting, being, doing, and we've memorized all of that to the point that we're totally unconscious to it. And so the world around us reflects back who we are being, but we're not being who we are consciously. We are being who we are unconsciously. And what I'm all about is facilitating a conscious evolution for you, an evolution of who you are being, so that you can start moving from this person experiencing this reality to being this person experiencing the new reality that you desire. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and let's get into the thoughts become things cycle and how you can start shifting things to start creating that new reality, that new version of you. Okay, so let's have a look at this thoughts become things cycle. So this is how most people operate. Over there on the left, you've got things, the things in our lives, and we tend to look at those things, especially from a very early age, look at the world around us, and that then determines our belief system. It helps us form certain beliefs around, this is how the world works. You know, I believe that the sun rises every morning. I believe that what goes up must come down. And it extends obviously much further than that. I believe that the world is a difficult place, a hard place, a place where people can or can't be trusted, a place where there are lots of loving, supportive people, or a place where, you know, you have to really watch your own back. So all these beliefs are based on what people observe around them. Now, depending on that belief system, that will actually then inform the way that you perceive every single event from there on. So, you know, perception is reflection, which means that the way you perceive an event will be different to the way, say, I perceive it, or even the way your sister or your brother perceives it. We've all heard of eyewitness accounts for the same incident, and people reported really different things. Some people saw the perpetrator, you know, who did the harm and ran away, and the people who stood around doing nothing. And some people will notice how resilient the person was that maybe had something negative happen to them, or how many people did come to their assistance. So everybody will see things through different lenses based on their belief system. And you've probably had this direct experience, if you've got siblings or even with your partner or sometimes good friends, you will talk about something that happened in the past and the other person will turn around and say, no, that's not how it happened. And you'll go, yes, it was. And you'll have really different recollections because you perceived the same event through different lenses based on your belief system about the situation, the people involved, and so on. So then our perceptions inform how we feel about things, how we feel about any given situation. And of course, our emotions directly affect how we think, because when you're feeling good, you tend to think positive thoughts. And when you're feeling down and negative, sad, worried, fearful, you tend to have matching thoughts, sad, worrisome, fearful thoughts. Now, from there, it progresses to our words, because our words are really just our thoughts spoken out loud. They're given a voice, right? So the way we think will determine the way we speak. If you're somebody who's in a very negative frame of mind, your words will match that. If you're somebody who's in a very positive frame of mind, your words will match that. If you're somebody who thinks that, you know, your next big break is just around the corner, that's all you'll be talking about. If you're somebody who thinks that nothing ever works out for you, that's how you'll speak about things. And from there, we go on to then act in accordance with those thoughts and the way we speak about life. Our actions are actually then almost the next level of manifestation. So it's gone from an emotion to a thought to words to then us embodying with our actions the way we feel and think, and ultimately what we believe, because it all flows on from each other. So if you're somebody who believes that the world is full of opportunities and, you know, it's just up to you to go out there and grab them, and you have every possibility of achieving all of your goals, you'll be very proactive. You'll go out there, you'll keep knocking on doors. Things won't bother you so much if they don't quite go according to the perfect plan straight away. Whereas if you're somebody who believes that, you know, you're not good at job interviews and people don't really warm to you very well, then you will hold back. You won't go out there and seize opportunities like the other person will. So our actions are very much our beliefs embodied, enacted. And so that's how it goes, right? And so most people look at the world around them, and that then determines what they believe, how they perceive every single event, how they feel about themselves in the world, how they think about themselves in the world, how they speak about themselves in the world, and ultimately how they present themselves and how they act within the world. And that's kind of that. And this is where most people stop. But the very critical bit they're missing is this, that this doesn't end there. In fact, it's a cycle, because the way we think, speak, and act directly affects the things of our lives, what we get back out of life, what actually happens in our tangible world. So this is a cycle, and that is what most people completely miss. They simply think that whatever's around them is how it is, and that informs how they feel internally and how they think internally about it, and how they then again act and show up in the world. And they think that they have no power, and they completely miss the point that the power is within you, because this is a cycle. And once you realize that this is a cycle and you're actually creating the things around you through the way you perceive the world, the way you feel about it, the way you think, the way you speak, the way you act, you then create different opportunities, create different situations. It means that once you recognize this, you realize that you have all the power within you. And that is liberating. That is powerful. That is empowering. The power is completely within you. Things don't just become thoughts. Thoughts become things. So this is a huge realization for a lot of people. And, you know, you may already be aware of this, but maybe you haven't seen it kind of dissected like this. And the thing that I'd like to really leave you with, as well as the fact that this is a cycle and the power is completely in your hands, is notice how there are so many little different points of intercept within this cycle. So whatever cycle you're currently in, whatever the kinds of things that have been showing up in your life that keep being created over and over again, you can actually shift them, and you have multiple opportunities to do that. Just like, imagine this is a groove in a record and you want to shift it and jump to a different groove. You've got all these points of contact where you can nudge that needle and make it jump and play a different song. So yes, you can shift your beliefs. Maybe that's a difficult place to start. You can at least start to understand that the way you perceive the world affects everything, affects what you get out of the world. And maybe you can start looking for a different angle, for a different perspective on things. You can realize that the way you feel every single day directly affects what you create. And you can actually consciously set out to feel better, to do things that put you in a good, positive frame of mind, in a good emotional state. You can realize that the way you think directly affects what you get back out of life. And so you can start to kind of become more self-aware and start shifting some of those thought patterns. You can start watching your words a little bit more, and that's much easier than watching your thoughts, because we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and that's a lot to monitor. But you can pay attention to the words that come out of your mouth, because they are your thoughts given a voice. And when you start paying attention to the way you speak, it really tells a story as to what's really going on within you. And of course, your actions are all of those things embodied and enacted out in the real world, and so in the external world. So your actions reflect what's going on in your internal world. And so you can actually start to slightly shift things just by taking slightly different actions, just little things that are a little bit out of character. And what will actually happen at the unconscious level is that your unconscious mind will recognize that that's a shift out of the old pattern, and it will start nudging everything else along. So you've got all these multiple points of contact. And this is what I teach in the effectology method and in all my programs. We have all these opportunities to actually consciously evolve, to consciously shift the existing pattern and start laying down a powerful new pattern. So this thoughts become things cycle is a really powerful way to start understanding just how much power and how much opportunity you actually have to create your life the way you want it to be, and to do it consciously. So there you have it. That's short, sharp, and shiny, but it gives you a really good, quick introduction and lots of food for thought on how you can start really shifting your point of attraction, your electromagnetic signature, your state of being, to start attracting and creating a new version of not just yourself, but of the reality that you're living. Because this quantum field we live in, it responds to who you are being. It responds to your electromagnetic signature. And the thoughts become things cycle lets you know all those little touch points where you have complete power, and you can start tweaking and shifting that little dial. I hope you really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed making this video for you for something different, and I look forward to seeing you again in next week's care package. Bye for now.